Hello and welcome to Indo Divex, a podcast about diving, ocean stories, and the incredible underwater world of Indonesia.
I'm Mia.
And I'm Kai.
In this podcast, we explore marine life, diving adventures, and the magic of the Coral Triangle.
Mia, I've been diving into some fascinating articles this morning about that one moment every diver shares, the very first breath taken underwater.
Oh, that's such a classic starting point. I was actually reading a piece from an Underwater Academy article that calls it a simple and revolutionary gesture because the human brain is literally programmed with the certainty that air is only for the surface.
Exactly. The article says that taking that breath isn't just a technical move, it's a decision where the brain hesitates for a fraction of a second to analyze the sound and rhythm before finally making a total act of trust.
That's so true. I also found a research paper titled Beneath the Waves that describes this first-time experience as a sensorium. It explains that because water is 800 times denser than air, our senses are disparately mobilized, meaning they work in a completely unfamiliar way the moment we submerge.
That density is what creates that feeling of being weightless, which one student in that same study compared to intergalactic travel. It turns the sea from a surface you look at into a space you actually inhabit.
Speaking of inhabiting that space, I was looking into the history of how we even got here. According to Wikipedia, it was engineer Émile Gagnan and Jacques Cousteau who designed the first successful and safe open-circuit scuba system, the Aqua-Lung, in France during the winter of 1942 to 1943.
It's wild to think they developed that technology during a fuel shortage in World War II. Before the Aqua-Lung, most people used heavy, standard dress with copper helmets and air pumped from the surface. But Cousteau's invention allowed divers to carry their own air and stay down for over an hour.
And the name Aqua-Lung was actually a trade name Cousteau coined specifically to sell the regulator to English-speaking countries.
While we usually think of diving as peaceful, I read a gripping account in the documentary Last Breath about a saturation diver named Chris Lemons. In 2012, while working 100 meters down in the North Sea, his umbilical cable, which provided his breathing gas and heat, was completely severed.
I heard about that. He only had about 5 minutes of emergency gas in his bailout cylinder, but he somehow survived for around 30 minutes on the seabed until his colleagues could reach him.
It's an incredible story of survival. Researchers think the cold water and the high partial pressure of oxygen he had been breathing played a huge role in keeping him alive.
That really highlights how much the ocean changes our physiology. Let's move to some ocean facts I found for our listeners.
I've got a good one. The word SCUBA is actually an acronym for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
And did you know that sound moves 4 times faster in water than in air? Because of that, sounds like a boat engine or a tank banger seem to emanate from everywhere at once, making it almost impossible to tell where they're coming from.
It really makes you appreciate why the ocean is described as a spiritual landscape. In the sources, first-time divers often mention a sense of isolation from the noise of daily life and the steel and concrete of the city.
Some even experience thalassotherapy, which is the idea that the saltwater and coastal climate have a rejuvenating or meditational effect on the soul.
Whether it's for the thrill of flying underwater or finding that peace, that first breath truly marks the transition from being an observer to being part of the environment.
It's a world that belongs to us all and deserves our respect.
Thank you for listening to Indo Divex.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the podcast and share it with fellow ocean lovers.
Until the next dive, keep exploring and keep protecting our ocean.